What's up, guys? My name is Logan, and I am a strength and conditioning intern for USF football. This video is going to be all about my experience with the internship, as well as what you can expect to experience if you one day become the strength and conditioning intern for USF football. I'm going to try and sum this up as quickly as possible, considering I'm on a time limit here. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So to start out, this isn't necessarily what USF has to offer you, but these are the primary things that you will be working with at USF as an intern. As you can see in the top right picture, we have Sorinex equipment. All of those racks and everything around it, pretty much except for the barbells, are all Sorinex. We use Sorinex because Sorinex is kind of the top brand out there right now for its like ultimate customizability. It's made in America. It's like built to last through commercial grade products and steel. It's basically built to expand and not to just replace. Because we want to train our athletes with the highest variety and in the best way possible, Sorinex is the best brand to allow us to do that. So now onto some other things. We have a fuel bar here at USF. Fuel bar is basically a all-access nutrient bar for athletes to use at all times, especially after training, as nutrients are very important to the body. Your body's primed to absorb whatever you put into it, especially after training, which is why we put it so close to the weight room. And also along with that, we have a indoor practice facility. Recently this year, we got a $22 million indoor practice facility, top of the line. It's got air conditioning, which is very useful for the athletes, especially when it's too hot outside during practice. They can come inside and practice, or if weather doesn't permit outside, such as lightning, then we can easily go inside and continue practice like normal. And on to the last thing, catapults for the athletes. Catapults are a wearable technology which we put inside players' pads, which we use to analyze the players' like movements and other critical information such as total distance running, impact for the day, maximum velocity, and other critical information which we can use to optimize players' performance, such as in the weight room, how much they should be training in the day, if they perform too much at practice that they shouldn't be lifting as intensely in the weight room, stuff like that. It's a very, very useful modern device, which a lot of D1 universities use in order to understand players' performance and their efforts in the day better. And so it's very useful for us here with USF football. So summing up what my experience was like in the quickest amount of time possible, it was definitely a big change going from never being an intern in my life to having my first internship with USF football as a strength coach or a strength intern. But yeah, I had a lot of early mornings, wake up at 3:30 or 4, get to the facility by 5 or 6. And depending on the day, the second you get there, you typically set up for the upcoming training session in the weight room, set up. After that, the players will come in, warm up dynamically, and then they will get to training. And that is when you, as a strength intern, will be able to assist in training the athletes in correcting form, whether it's through verbal cues or giving yourself as a physical example for the athletes and what proper form would look like for the exercise. After that, you will break down the weight room and all the equipment that you previously set up. Then you will transfer some bikes over from the indoor facility down to the outdoor football fields and what we call the pit, which the pit is where injured athletes or sometimes rehab athletes come in order to continue exercising during practices they cannot practice normally how football players would. Whether it's through riding the bikes through certain tempos or using resistance bands or med balls as part of the exercises. Which brings me to another thing which I didn't mention. Before practice, I would typically bring some med balls over and resistance bands over to assist in warming up the QBs before practice. So that's something that I typically did on some days. And besides that, after the practice at a designated time, you will typically go back up to the weight room and begin setting up for the upcoming lifts, as our football team is split up into 3 different groups for training: Devo, offense, and defense. Depending on the day, obviously, but if, let's say, Devo lifts in the morning, then typically offense and defense will lift after practice. So after you set up for the weight room, you will assist in training the athletes once again, giving cues and whatnot. After that, you will break down the weight room and then clean the weight room when applicable and do one thing that the coaches like to call recruit ready. Recruit ready is something that we do here at USF, which is basically just maintaining a clean and synchronized weight room. On all the dumbbells and plates, there'll be USF logos. They need to be face up. Everything needs to be in order and just basically in sync, as if a recruit by chance were to walk into the weight room on a visit, then he would possibly feel more inclined to want to commit to this university. And as the last thing I would do, I would distribute catapults to the players in the locker room before practice. Each player has their last name on a catapult device, and you would just find that appropriate last name and put it in the back of each player's football pads. So now, on terms of what you can expect if you become the future intern for USF football strength and conditioning, you can definitely expect to be doing a lot of work here as an intern. It's not just the label of being an intern, but it's the fact that the coaches want to teach you appreciation for the weight room and what they do. And along the lines with that, one thing you will learn is that it's not all just strength and conditioning. There's more to it than just being a strength and conditioning coach, which coaches the athletes. There's a lot more appreciation that goes into it when in terms of setting up a weight room, breaking it down, ensuring the safety of each and every athlete and that nothing goes wrong. You always have a backup plan. For example, if an athlete's shoulder is hurting during a barbell bench press, they may want to do something more neutral grip along the lines of like a neutral grip press or a dumbbell bench press, as that puts less stress on the shoulder. Another thing you can expect to do is learn to adapt on the fly into the environment you're continuously put in. Not every day is going to go perfectly according to plan. Something might go wrong, and you need to always have a backup plan for that. Whether another sport is currently training and you have to have the weight room set up at a certain time, you have to figure out what to do right then and there. Learn to communicate with the players and coaches around you. You can expect to learn a variety of other things, such as having to develop different coaching styles for athletes, as everyone responds to different ways of communication differently. You may be able to coach one athlete a certain way, but a different athlete may not take it the same way, so you'll have to explain a lift to him differently, for example. And overall, just expect to be waking up early in the mornings, be on your toes 24/7, be alert, be ready for any possible outcome to occur in a weight room or during practice. And yeah, that's about it. So appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you guys learned some information about this internship. And yeah, thank you.